Hey, The Vast of Night is a 2019 American science fiction movie set in 50s United States in a small New Mexico town where a big ba- base basketball game is going on in town, and everybody is at the game except for young people, well, a couple of young people, most notably the radio DJ at the local thing, who is kind of a brusque, very charming young guy who kind of we see in this very kind of long shot walking into the game to help with some electrical troubles, except they were actually asking for Emmett versus Everett, or one of the two, and so he walks back out again. But him and a young night telephone operator who is sort of fills in for her mom when her mom isn't is off doing her night job. Um, so she starts hearing these strange sounds coming in the line, and it comes onto the radio too. And through the course of the night, through calls in, they play the strange sound on the radio, asking if anyone can call in, and they get a couple of calls from people who have one being a former black, not a former soldier, who is a black man who had been pulled away for some kind of mysterious thing, and then for another one from this elderly widow who back, basically in the time when the where there could still be maybe attacks from the Apaches and stuff like that. There had been a strange incident which seems to have affected her son, and all this kind of gathering kind of tension and dread, all kind of not climaxing. It's all very kind of just steady and slow, very much kind of like radio theater in a way of just building tension, building stories, building mystery of like what's going on in this town. And indeed, it opens with kind of old. It's interesting. It opens with kind of like old time TV kind of picture, like a kinescope on a thing, and like this is like a Twilight Zone episode. Um, though, yeah, I would actually say maybe it's just my own experience. It strikes me more as that kind of 1950s science fiction or horror radio sort of vibe to it. Um, but very also, it's not like done hammily, like kind of an old 1950s radio science fiction movie. It's done in a very kind of realistic. We're just kind of flies on the wall. We're following these people through the town. We get these super long shots, which give you a really kind of a spatial awareness of this time, and we also just get all the characters just acting very kind of naturalistic. They've all obviously like they've known each other for like all this time, so you don't get introduced to people as much as you're there, and you just join them in their lives as they're going along. And like a lot of this movie is sort of, it's about the time, it's about the place, it's about this one night where the town is deserted because everyone's at the game, and indeed, perhaps it's the fact that everyone is at the game that is why this other force has come out at this particular time, visited it, might be in the skies. They also have, like, at one point, the young radio operator, starts talking about all these kind of science stories, and it's like, predictions for the future, and it really captures that kind of 1950s kind of science fiction thing of like, wow, what would the future be like? And she tells about all these things, and the one that the radio operator finds the most realistic is basically a thing where they describe cell phones that will have like little movie things on one side of them, and you'll be able to, like, talk on the other side to people like all over the world. And he finds that one the most ridiculous of all. And it's like, I turned to Ja and said, "Ah, yes, because we are living in a science fiction universe." So, it doesn't go big places, but it's just that it's actually much more of a period piece of like just capturing that feel and capturing that thing. And also capturing, like, you don't see any people of color in the movie. You only get this call in from Billy, who you can kind of tell by his intonations and how he speaks that, oh, this is a black man. And indeed, at one point, he says, like, I'm why they used me. They used me and other black soldiers and Mexican soldiers is because no one's going to listen to us. People like us. No one's going to listen to us. And he even says, like, I hope it wasn't a problem that I called in, like, because that's the thing that's going to be the problem. Not that I'm talking about, like, government secret dealings, but that I'm a black man calling a white radio station. And the DGA operator goes like, oh, no, that's okay. We've never had a black caller before. It's just like, segregation, you know, this, slid in there. It's just, it just does that wonderful thing of just kind of capturing this time and place. So it's nothing earth shattering, but it's just like, oh, that was really good, really fun, with, in some ways, that kind of a Twilight Zone or kind of Outer Limits kind of prod, X minus one kind of feel to it, but done in a very realistic, very kind of smooth way, with great soundscape, with great, just the intercutting of the different sounds. I don't know if it actually needed particularly this kinescope TV thing at the beginning, and sometimes it clicks to it back and forth throughout the thing, which sort of takes you out of the kind of this flow again, and just like we're nudging you to remind you that this is an old timey science fiction thing, because it's using that subject matter, but it's telling it in a very kind of realistic and like kind of all these smooth. I actually think it actually justifies doing all these long takes by making you like, this is a physical place versus kind of just hard cuts from one place to another. It's like, no, this is all about place. So you want to immerse us in it by doing all these long cuts. It's for a reason. It's not just the filmmaker showing off what they might be showing off, but it really fits here. So yeah, that is The Vast of Night. Yeah, really good movie. All right, more videos later.